Arrogant, throwing fits, ripping shit, tearing it, imperative. Then I'm killing this mic no matter where I live. These derelict rappers acting a fool, this embarrassing is flagrant. That's the nature of this entertainment, and we can't even change it. Guilty before arraignment, now the system tainted. But when we speak, they all laugh at us. And y'all wonder why I'm lacking trust. Try to fight a giant with attorneys that can back them up. That's church versus science, both sides start acting up. I'm late on my assignment, hopping up a mile high, climbing, obviously never silent. New alignment, I'm defined, cannot describe it. Used to describe it as a young graffiti artist. Before the beard, I always got carded. Hit every bar, even though my bar has been the hardest. The scars on my face, and I ain't always been the smartest. But I'll show you where my heart is. I said I'll show you where my heart is. I can show you where my heart's at. See it on my sleeve, even if the beat stops my soul.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Tuesday. Little sports nonsense and whiskey, hanging with the fellas. Robert, Pinky, how we doing this evening?
Oh man, who would have expected what happened yesterday? I'm so happy. That was great. That was some solid stuff.
Let's go.
We'll
go,
get
Robert.
into that.
Let's go.
It's been a fantastic weekend of sports. I just can't contain myself. It's very difficult structuring my schedule now because I'm like, got F1 at like 5 a.m. Then I've got Premier League, which overlaps with some normal American football, and I'm like, son of a bitch. I gotta be awake for like 18 hours, and then I get to go back to sleep. I gotta watch all these sports so I know what we're talking about every day. It's fantastic, but it's also terrible because sleep. We'll get over it.
You can sleep when you're dead, my friend.
That's what I keep telling myself. Like, you'll sleep when you're dead. It's fine. You got to get all the sports in because who knows what you're gonna miss. And this weekend had a lot of firsts.
Yeah.
And craziness. Absolutely wild.
It was on. It was on. Caleb, where you want to start, baby?
I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot to talk about tonight, and we know what's going to dominate a majority of the conversation. That's football. Excuse me, which rightfully so. So we've got college and NFL to discuss. We've got some F1, and I've got a question to throw out there to the gentlemen.
Ooh.
And I gotta briefly at least mention the Ryder Cup. Our golf expert Chris could not make it this evening, and he sends his condolences, his apologies, if you will. But we still got to mention it because Friday, Saturday, Sunday is going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
It's like the Seinfeld soup Nazi, but this time it's the golf Nazi. No golf for you.
Yeah, so that, and then obviously Peacemaker, and there's been some things happening there that we'll need some discussion as well. As always, until the season ends, that will be a weekly conversation. So
let's go.
Pinky, start with the NFL this week, good sir.
Oh
okay.
We're not even going to discuss college?
We will.
The other sports are kind of more quick hitters.
Yeah.
Understood. Okay. All right. Touche. Continue. Proceed.
That's smart, Caleb. Smart. Man, what a weekend. Wow. Blown away. What's going on with the Packers? You kidding me?
Got full of themselves a little bit. But in fairness, Baltimore struggled with Cleveland as well. And I would argue at this very moment in time, Cleveland is unquestionably the best defense in the league. Their offense could use a lot of work and much to be desired, but that defense is the best in the league. What they've done back-to-back weeks to two very good offenses is pretty insane.
The Browns defense is healthy right now, which has not been something we've been able to say the last 2 years, I think.
Well, Graham was a masterful pick, in all honesty, because I can't remember the stat exactly, and I wish I had jotted it down, but he's winning at a rate from the inside that's far and away above the standard right now in the league, which gives Myles Garrett plenty of opportunity to work from the outside, and they are wreaking havoc on opposing offensive lines right now, and it is crazy.
Yeah, kudos to the Browns. They made my son very happy this weekend.
Junior.
Does this mean the Browns are going to go to the Super Bowl? Probably not, but we can hope.
They're a long way from that. That offense has to get figured out. Judkins, though, looks legit.
I was being
coming
facetious,
back.
Caleb.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, Robert. You say it, but we've seen teams go on some runs that were insanely unexpected. They have some pieces. Njoku, you could argue, is a top 5 tight end in the league, talent-wise. Judy has shown flashes, but I would say he's not a number 1, so that leaves them a little bit of an issue there. Tillman is a solid number 2, so you start stacking up some number 2s there with Njoku. If they can start figuring out that run game again, and Judkins really is a beast, and then Ford can go back to more of a third down role, they legit could be dangerous. True Super Bowl contender? No, but look, we've seen good old Flacco get hot when it's least expected. So if he stays the starter and that defense continues to improve, they're going to be a hard out for a lot of teams, whether they're in the playoffs or not. It's not going to be somebody they want to see on a week in, week out basis.
Right. Yeah, I mean they're going to be a tough out, but they're not going anywhere this year, and they don't want to.
No,
they need to reset their roster. They need to draft a left tackle. They've got, again, their pick. They probably need a quarterback because Lord knows the Browns. And we talk about the Browns more than we should. They'd be better off just throwing Dylan Gabriel out there for a little while and then throwing Shedeur out there for a little while. Because again, at the end of the day, Joe Flacco is not really going to do you anything right now. You're not going to win a lot of games with Joe Flacco. So, and again, if you have 2 top 5 picks to help really start to rebuild this squad, as a lot of your talent from the Baker years, when you actually went to the playoffs and won, now you got to rebuild that. Having 2 first-round picks in the top 5. Well, the Jaguars pick may not be top 5. They're doing some things. So at least their pick will be in the top 5. But if you draft these 2 quarterbacks, you have no idea what they can do. You're left in that, do we spend a top 5 pick on a quarterback? Do we keep the ones we have and pray and hope?
Well, and like I said last year, and I think it's starting to prove itself out a little bit. We'll talk about more here later, but this crop of quarterbacks that's going to be coming out here in the next year's draft doesn't look like it's anything special.
Not seeing a lot of special. All the guys that everybody was so excited about, nobody's really doing great things at the moment. So they you could draft a guy and be hoping and praying as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Cleveland's got a lot of work to do. But as far as the Packers go, they got high on themselves. Real high. And came out and played a bad game. Jordan Love has one of those games that he's going to have 2-3 times a year where you're like, that's an MVP candidate. And then the next week, he'll probably go out and throw for 404 touchdowns. Just kind of the give and take with him. I'm not worried about the Packers long term, though.
I mean, you're not going to play a defense like that every week. No. And I think they might have been feeling themselves a little bit and not quite prepared for what they were going to walk into in Cleveland.
I think so.
Which can happen. How about those Eagles?
Why? So, that's what I kept saying to myself after the game. Why? If you can do that, why don't you just do it? All the time, every time. Why? Why are we playing games? Why are we doing the old bait and switch? Just go out there and blow everybody out. If that's what you have in your bag, just go out there and use your bag. What are we doing here?
It was 26-7.
Yeah.
And they came back to win 33-26.
Now, granted, you're not going to get 2 blocked field goals every week. So that always helps when you can get those. But still, like, why? And again, I will say, anybody that wants to talk about Jalen Hurts and not being able to throw the ball, what are we doing? Why are we still having that conversation? Is he the best thrower of the ball in the league? No. And that's not what anybody's arguing. But when they want him to, or when he decides to, or whatever happens, he threw some balls, a couple to A.J. Brown, where you're like, that's an elite throw. So the capability is there. Whether it's inconsistent or they just choose not to do it on a regular basis, I don't know. But the dude can play the quarterback position, whether you want to believe that or not.
I'm starting to think it's the scheme in the offense around him that has made him look, because he looked amazing with Shane Steichen. They were humming with Shane Steichen at the helm. It's just not looked on passing game wise. It has not looked great since then. There's moments, they're streaky. They're just really streaky.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
It doesn't look right most of the time. But he's got it in his bag that in a moment's notice, he can just start chucking it around. You're like, whoa, where's that guy been? Last game, the first game of the year was not great. The second game wasn't great against the Chiefs. They won though, right? And again, at the end of the day, it's all about dubs. Like, it doesn't matter what your stats are. It's all about the dubs. So
it's like Jalen Hurts and Sirianni are on the same page of, let's not do more than we have to do to win a game, because we don't want anybody to see what we're truly capable of until the Super Bowl. And then we're going to come out here and the lights are the brightest and we're going to play at a level that nobody thought we were capable of. But until then, we're just going to barely win every game, okay? That's what we're going to do. Like, why? Why? It's crazy.
A great win for the Eagles, a big letdown for the Rams. And the Rams are probably the best team in the NFC West, as long as Stafford's healthy.
At this moment in time, I would say yes. Seattle may not be too far behind, though. Honestly, Seattle may not be too far behind. That defense is looking a little bit better every week, and that offensive line looks like it's starting to kind of gel, that younger offensive line.
We'll see. Their opponents.
Are they as good as the Rams? No, I didn't say that. I said, but they're not too far behind. San Francisco's flailing at this point, injury after injury. They're probably going to be screwed. Arizona has shown moments where you're like, oh, man, they might actually really break out this year. And then they show other moments where you're like, are you the worst team in the league? How do you have all these weapons supposedly and you're doing that? So I don't like.
Because you're hot, then you're cold. You're yes, then you're no.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I don't know what to make of Arizona right now. I do think they have the talent to be a dark horse still. And I said that before the season started. But boy, they are, like Robert said, hot and cold and yes and no and all over the place.
They have Kyler Murray, baby. They have no shot.
Well, and is Marvin Harrison a bust, or did they just not get him the ball because Murray can't truly read a defense? Like, what is it?
But
yes.
Well, no.
The answer to the question is yes.
I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is fine, but again, I almost feel like at this point, it's like the Broncos with Jerry Jeudy. Like, they could not figure out how to get consistency out of him, and then they couldn't figure out how to use him. And then he would have bad games. And I think some of that has to go with he's running 50 routes and never seeing the ball. And then your mind's just not in the game.
It is weird that they don't get him like some really good, easy looks, easy touches early on in the game.
Every time I get to see him on, and I mean, I didn't see him. Sometimes they're in the late window when the Broncos are on. So I don't get to see him. But when they're in the early window, and they show up on red zone and you look and you're just like, every time Kyler throws him the ball, it's like deep over his shoulder. He's got to make some amazing catch. And nothing's easy,
Yeah.
And when you have Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride, and somehow like last season, Trey McBride had no touchdowns at the end of the season, like that makes no sense. Of a guy he's arguably you could make an argument he's the best tight end. You could.
Yep.
Him and Brock Bowers, right? You could really make that argument. And yet, like, Kyler can't get him the ball consistently. Makes no sense.
Yeah, no sense. So, yeah, it really does. As long as Stafford's good to go, it looks like it's the Rams division. And the Rams look like one of the best teams in the NFC.
That defense is – that defensive line.
Well, it's only going to get better as the season goes along, right? So they're going to be formidable. And Philly, if they choose to play the way they played to start that game again against the Rams in the playoffs, I wouldn't feel as good about them being able to just turn it on in the second half and win. You know what I mean? So,
last thing on the Eagles. Are we a little worried about Saquon?
No.
Because we haven't really seen Saquon really.
I mean, the offensive line is a little bit different. Couple injuries to very key components for the Eagles. Secondly, 2,000 yards is crazy. It's ridiculous. So to repeat that or come anywhere close to that a second year is not expected, or at least shouldn't be. So him going for 1,200 yards and another 500 or 600 through the air would be an absurdly good season. And that's kind of where he's on pace for. So he's still going to have an insanely good year. It's just not going to be an all-time great year. And I think that's okay.
That it is. Robert's dropping out again. Let's talk about one of the big disappointments, the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, I mean, are they really a disappointment?
I mean, I would have said, based on what we've seen previous to the game, they should have won that game against the Bears. And somehow,
I would say
they weren't in it from the go.
I would say, based on our preseason conversations, that game went about exactly as you would have said it did to start the season off.
Did we pick the Bears to win that game?
Let's look.
Cowboys suck. They deserve to lose.
Week 3, we did pick Chicago to win that game.
Man, we're really smart at this. I
this
didn't think
is going to
they
look terrible at the end of the season, but every once in a while we shoot and score somehow.
It'll look really bad at the end of the season, but we have some moments. I just thought the Cowboys would be better. I mean, they've run the ball pretty well the first couple weeks. Dak is thrown around. I know losing CeeDee Lamb is tough. But
can't be that tough.
I just don't think the Bears are like that formidable that they.
I will agree that I'm surprised the offense looked as bad as it did. Definitely surprised there. You were definitely right, though, about Dallas being bad this year. And Miami. Hats off to you, good sir, because you had them from the jump. And you just hate Dallas. So nobody can take anything you say about them as true actual analysis.
You're just a hater.
It's just hate, and you happen to be right this time around.
Damn straight. So you'd say that I'm right, damn it.
But first of all, I watched that game and I go, how does Ryan Pace still have a job? Because he employed Eberflus. He's made a bunch of these picks. He's the reason Chicago's in the position they're in right now. And I don't mean in a good way. They looked into everything. And then I watched Dallas and I go, was Eberflus ever that good of a coordinator, or did he just have some really good pieces around him? Because nothing was good in Chicago. Dallas is looking atrocious right now, regardless of what they may or may not have. He doesn't seem to want to adjust or reconfigure any of his schemes in any point of the game.
He's not that guy. He's not that guy.
Not at all. And so then the offense then has to adjust and play from behind consistently. Dallas is in a really bad spot. Really bad spot. And it does not look like it's going to get any better. Now, do they have enough talent where all of a sudden things can magically turn around, they still make the playoffs? Yes, because they do have that kind of talent. But if the coaching schemes and systems stay in place as they are now, it's going to be a really long season for Dallas, and it's going to be a below 500 season.
Giants fans will hate that. Hate it.
Speaking of Giants fans, what are we doing? Hey, what if I told you we're going to draft a quarterback that is not exactly the guy most people think you should draft at the position we're going to draft him, but that's our guy, and we have a plan for him. And that plan involves the quarterback we're going to start playing so terribly that we're going to change our entire plan and start him by week 4. Does that sound good? Can we still draft him? Cool. We're going to ruin another guy. Stick with us. It'll be fine. Give us our jobs. Everything's going to work out. What are we doing in Jameis Winston's still on the roster, right?
Yeah.
But we're gonna scrap everything in Jackson Dart because Jackson Dart was originally supposed to play in week 4. That was the plan anyways. We're bringing him in we know Russ just needs to get us through the first 3 weeks, and then Jackson's ready to go. That's the plan.
And not even that, but he has to play one of the tougher defenses in the league in the Chargers.
Oh man.
So
now here's the thing. Based on what we saw in preseason, he should have just started the season. Russ should have never been in. Ever. And the game 2 weeks ago, all it did was give Russ 1 extra week.
Right.
Because he was able to complete a couple deep Hail Mary bombs out of nowhere.
Hey, 400 yards and 3 touchdowns.
So
kept his job safe for 1 more week.
But as Pinky likes to say, he turned back into a pumpkin and showed his true colors, and everybody's on the same page now that he should not be playing football for the New York Giants. What I don't understand is if you weren't going to play Jackson Dart before, now's not the time to start him. That should have been at the beginning of the season if you're going to start him at week 4, which, again, based on what we saw in the preseason, he should have been starting over Russ. But Jameis is capable. Is he going to turn the ball over? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But is he going to push the ball downfield? Is he going to let your offense do some things and he's going to score some points?
No.
Yeah.
Could he get the ball to Malik Neighbors? Absolutely.
Yeah. So with that being said, why is Jameis not the one that's going to be playing?
I don't know why they signed Russ to begin with, because they signed Jameis first. If you were already planning to draft Jackson Dart at 6, or not 6, but they came back to get him, or 3. Mm-hmm. They came back to get him. If you were already planning to do that, just play Jameis for a couple weeks. He's going to be fun to watch. The fans will get at least something exciting, good or bad.
Something more exciting
than
both,
Russ, right? And then you're good. Let Russ go be for somebody else. Like you've had there was enough data to show what you were gonna get out of Russ. Which if with Pittsburgh, right? They were able to run the ball a little bit, played good defense.
Justin Fields never should have been pulled.
Arguably, absolutely true, right? But they pulled him anyways, and he still went on a pretty good streak. But they played good defense, and he didn't turn the ball over.
I think what happened was his very first game, he came out and did exactly what he did 2 weeks ago, and it bought him enough goodwill that it made him look okay the rest of the season with his numbers, when really they weren't that great, and Justin Fields was actually the better quarterback the whole time.
But they won 6 straight, so at the time, it's just now he's lost 8 straight games, so dating back to last season. So Russ is done.
Yeah.
He's done. If he wants to keep playing, hey, as a backup, could you do worse? Sure. Russ is a fine backup. I know he could come in and at least play not awful.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad if Russ was my backup quarterback.
Right? You'd be fine with that,
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he's got enough. I don't even know why he's still trying to play football, other than to try to save his legacy. And I think he's done more harm than good at this point. How about those frisky Jets? Who saw that coming?
Dude.
And nothing's better than the Aaron Glenn meme that's going on right now. When they put that to Earth, Wind, and Fire, so good. So good. And then they lose.
They lose.
But if I'm the Jets, I'm a Jets fan. I think you've seen good competitive football that goes, I don't care if we lose all the games. As long as we keep being competitive, I'm good with that.
You should feel optimistic for sure. And you should really want Justin Fields to come back because he wasn't playing bad football to start the season. And if he can truly play the rest of the year and you see true progression from him, then you look at that as your franchise quarterback, build around that, and the Jets could be in a pretty good position going forward. But you really do need to see what Justin Fields is capable of. You have to see some progression this year. Even I've said that. Like, you have to see a jump. And look, he was throwing the ball pretty good to start the season before that concussion. So, but like you said, Pinky, there's some things there to where you could be like, all right, we might be pretty good in the next couple of years if we can hit the next couple of draft picks and fill in some veteran free agency spots here or there. Aaron Glenn might be the right man for that job after all.
And I'm going to go out there and say it. Like, at the moment, we've got Josh Allen, we got Lamar. They're great. But the guy I want to tune in to watch every week is Baker Mayfield. I want to see what that guy's going to do, man. Like,
let's go, Baker.
I mean, that kid, he's just, to me, he's like not as good, but he's like the Brett Favre of this era. The guy that
he's got an aura to him right now that's a lot of fun to watch.
I just dig it, man. And I'm watching the creamsicles. I love I like the straight creamsicles. I'm not a huge fan of the whites, but the orange creamsicle, like, that's my jersey, man. Like, when I get a Tampa jersey to go see a Tampa game, which will probably be like deep December, but whenever we decide to go to a Tampa game, it'll be one of the creamsicle jerseys.
Is that what we're gonna do next year? Is go to Tampa?
We're going to Cleveland.
Oh, that's right.
Why are we going to Cleveland?
It's my bro's 21st birthday.
He'll be 21.
Great.
So he'll be 21 in Pittsburgh. So we're gonna have to show him some things.
Oh God.
But he's on a health nut kick, so he's, whatever.
That's what this is for.
We have to tell him you're on vacation, bro.
This is what healthy people drink. This here.
I gotta tell Andy that all the time. We're on vacation, baby. We're on vacation. Let's see, what else can we go? How about the Vikings just laying the smackdown on the Joe Burrow-less Bengals? Like,
no surprise.
I thought they were going to win.
Very much a surprise for the game to go the way it did.
I thought they would win, but I thought Browning would get something done, and man, that was awful.
The Bengals are in a position now where whether they want to hear it or not, they need to blow it up and completely reset if they want to ever win with Joe Burrow. What they currently have as constructed is not going to get it done for all sorts of different reasons.
I've got an interesting question for that then. How do you do that? Because you got 3 guys you can't trade based on their contracts. You just can't trade them based on the contract.
How
do you?
Chase is definitely still tradable.
Not with that contract.
For sure. Even with that contract. That's arguably the best receiver in the league. It just depends on the situation of what you get back.
Yeah, but they're not eating that dead cap. Like, they're just
no, I mean that makes it
that's
makes it
against
interesting.
What the Bengals do.
I don't know, Pinky, to be honest with you. But
I don't either. That's why I asked.
They're in a bad spot. They really are, regardless of what they think they have talent-wise. And Maybe I'm still wrong, and I've said that I don't feel like I'm necessarily wrong, but I'm definitely not right, and I feel like maybe I'm starting to be proven right. That taking Chase over Sewell and truly trying to build that offensive lineup is starting to look like a really bad decision, and to the point where there's legit conversation to be had now that Joe Burrow is your next Andrew Luck for many different reasons. And the fact that that's even a conversation that can be had should be scaring the ever you know what out of every single person associated to the Bengals.
I'm scared. I love Joe B.
Joey B.
He's the other guy that I love watching when he's playing. Like, if a Bengals game is on and the Broncos aren't on, I will watch a Bengals game because I love watching Joe Burrow. I do think he's like the smoothest actual like quarterback playing the position in the pocket.
Operator.
Right?
Honestly, I think you could make a very good argument that he is the best pure quarterback in the league. And I mean that by just reading a defense and playing within the actual play calls and not outside of that and creating plays and playground football and stuff. You can call a play and Joe Burrow will almost always make the right read on that play to get the ball to the person that play should go to. And he doesn't have to work outside the pocket or create additional space or timing to let somebody get open. He just operates at such an insanely high level within the game. And when it comes to just pure, the essence of a quarterback, of getting the ball and then delivering it to somebody all within a timing and rhythm of an offense and a play call, I don't know if you could argue anybody does it better than him right now.
Let's see. We got to throw some quick hitters because we got to move on to everything else. Kudos to the Colts, looking good again, and they're getting to that point that maybe we got to question: are they actually pretty damn good? What I've seen of them, that O-line is playing great. And Daniel Jones has time to sit back. They can run the football, and then he has time to sit back and just kind of throw it to the open guy. When he's not pressured, he's playing really good football. And I think what's killing me is I saw so much bad football in New York that it's like I almost got to start to kind of throw away what my eyes have seen and just say, okay, I'm going to evaluate him now. And all I know at the moment, like, the Colts aren't letting him get pressured. And when he's not pressured, Alec Pierce, Downs, Pittman, Warren, and then JT running the ball down your throat, man, that's a pretty good recipe. I'd be shocked if they don't win the South. I'd be shocked.
Pinky, Daniel Jones is cemented to me that I will stick with my eye test. I will stick with my evaluations, and I will not budge regardless of the outcomes. And I say that because even in New York, there were many a time where I said, I see flashes of this dude being able to be a quarterback. And I was laughed at, and I understand why. And then I kind of backed off that, and then I said, playing him over Anthony Richardson is a big mistake. Like, that doesn't give you a future. Wrong. This is this year's Sam Darnold. My boy is showing more than flashes. He is balling out right now. I told you they have a lot of weapons there in Indy, Pinky. And he is using them all. And Steichen is calling some great games. They're legit. They are winning the South. And Daniel Jones is going to be your quarterback in Indy for the next couple of years, I would venture a guess.
He's definitely getting like a 3-year deal, for sure. For sure. No doubt about it. Because they're not going to be high enough to draft a quarterback.
Indy should feel good right now because they do have a team of weapons and stuff. They needed a quarterback. They found one based on what Steichen's doing with those play calls and keeping Daniel upright. Indiana Jones has resurfaced. Danny Dimes has died and born again as Indiana.
Big kudos to that O-line, man. That O-line is putting in work. So they're playing really good football. Real quick, kudos to the Panthers. The surprise of the weekend. I thought division game, competitive. Falcons should win. For them to blow them out and shut them out, amazing.
So when do we start having a real conversation about the question I posed last week or the week before, where is everybody on Atlanta that we thought is super talented a true overrated bust, or is the coaching so bad that it's holding all of the talent back?
Ooh, good questions.
Penix looked bad this week.
Dude, they brought out Kirk Cousins, man.
Well, they were losing so bad, like they were like, okay, we'll put Cousins.
He didn't look as bad as the media tried to make it out to be, and I am a little curious on why they decided to bench him for Cousins, because based on what I saw, it wasn't as bad as that scenario.
I just think that, again, at the end of the day, like when you're down 27-0 in the fourth quarter, you don't want to get your starter hurt. So I don't think it was they pulled him because he was playing awful. It was, I don't want to get you hurt.
Yeah.
We'll get
but
you
based
out of
on all
here.
the talent that they're supposed to have down there, especially on the offensive side of the ball, it looks
bad.
Real bad.
Bills rolled the Dolphins, no surprise. I mean, it was close for a while. Commanders.
Does McDaniel keep his job the whole season?
No, not at all.
No.
There's no chance. I mean,
over under week 6.
Yeah, I think they need to get blown out again like they did in week 1. They actually played the Bills really tough. Like that game came down to the fourth quarter. So there was improvement there in how they played. But I think they get blown out. It's going to be like, okay, we're done. Like it's time to move on. It's time to move on regardless. Like he's not the guy, unfortunately. I think
that's a situation that they need to blow everything up legitimately, and they can. Like, I think Tua's contract after this year, they can basically walk away from, if I remember correctly. So,
might be able to. Let's see. I think
Tyreek is still there for a bit, though.
Before we mention, we got to move real quick. Lions. What did I say about the Lions, Caleb?
Well, okay. So let's do this twofold. If you're gonna go there, Pinky. You want your flowers, I'll give you your flowers. Cheers, my guy. If they can run the ball, they can do everything.
Woo!
We definitely agree on that. You and I talk about the run game in the trenches more than most, I feel like. That's kind of how we truly feel, and that's one of the things we agree on wholeheartedly without any issues when it comes to football.
Can win games.
However, Put your flowers aside. I hope you already put them in water because they're not going to last long. We, as in you and I can't really remember what Robert said. I think he kind of agreed but wasn't happy about having to agree to it. So didn't really agree but did. We, Pinky, you and I said this was a get-right game for Baltimore, and it was not going to be good for Detroit. So to see what happened. Man,
but
dude.
You know what I saw though? I saw a team try to get too cute and throw the ball too much versus pounding the rock. And
you said that. I don't necessarily agree. They're missing their number one interior lineman, right? In Ngakwe I can never remember.
Well, here's the bottom line.
And then Van Noy is out as well. Like, Baltimore's missing some key pieces.
On defense, they are, yes. If Matabuke was playing in the middle of that old D-line, maybe it's not as easy for the Lions last night.
So that hurts a little bit. And when
Ravens' O-line's not good right now. That O-line's not playing good.
It's not looking great. It's not. And the run game is struggling as well. Lamar is doing a lot.
He's trying to run himself to a Super Bowl.
The sky is not falling.
No, I think they're going to be fine. But they got KC next week, right?
Yeah, if I'm KC, I'm not happy about this. The way it's unfolded.
No, like both teams need a get right game, and they have to go against each other. let's pull it back out real quick, shall we?
I think we had
for fun.
Baltimore. I think we had Baltimore.
We do. I'm just trying to. So we have Baltimore winning the first 9 games of the season. 9-0 to start the season is how we had them going. They haven't necessarily played up to that, but they haven't exactly played terribly either, right?
They've lost 2 close games.
But yeah, at KC, we've got them winning. Keep in mind, we have KC finishing 12-5, I think.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And we had them starting the season 6-5.
Which I think we're dead on because Xavier Worthy's out. Rashee Rice is still out. Once get those 2 guys back, the offense will look different.
Yeah, I mean, we had KC losing the first game against winning. Sorry, we actually had them winning the first game against the Chargers, but they lost, but close game. We had them losing against Philly. We have them winning against the Giants. We have them losing against Baltimore. Then they get a little bit of a run. So, like, KC could start off rough, but their schedule is such that they still have a pretty good back half to get right again.
I just think if they're close to 500 when they get Worthy and Rice back, they're going to be fine.
That run game will start getting going a little bit more, I think, as well. And that'll open up some things.
Maybe. I don't ever trust Andy Reid in running the ball. So
he does want a run game that is capable because it opens up his pass game. So he's pretty consistent with the 60-40 split. I think that offensive line is a little young and new. They're still gelling a little bit.
Oh, let's see. And then we'll just talk about the epic failure of the Broncos. I will say I don't think the sky is falling because traditionally Sean Payton's not good in September. His teams have never played well in September. They lost both games on last-second field goals. That could go either way. It's not awful, but those are games they should have had. They should be 3-0.
I would say the defense is a concern, and if you're saying otherwise, you're fooling yourselves. Jahdae Barron not playing hardly at all should be a little bit of an eyebrow raiser. And the offensive play calling of Sean Payton looks a little stale. Now, is that just, like Pinky's saying, kind of the normal slow start to the season? They'll kind of find form? Or is he starting to show his age and not developing with the game? I don't know.
Caleb, you had the best take. When you're 1st and 5 at the 5-yard line, run the football. You get too cute with it, you get a penalty, you get another penalty, and the next thing you know, it's second and 20 from the 20-yard line, and then you're kicking a field goal, right?
I was out on Nathaniel Hackett in game 1 within the first 5 minutes because he decided not to run the ball with inside the 5. So,
right.
It's a big thing for me. I hate that. You have 4 opportunities to gain 5 yards is the way I always look at it. And if you can't do that, then there's an issue with your offensive line game.
I truly believe, I agree. The first 2 downs when you're on the 5-yard line, run the football. And on that 3rd down, if you want to do some misdirection, if you want to do a rollout with an option, like there's a lot of things that the defense has to worry about on 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, that you put them at a disadvantage, right? So Broncos.
Also, I will say the lack of toss wide right, toss wide left inside the 5-yard line in today's NFL is wild to me. Because you've got some guys that can get to the outside speed-wise.
Well,
and if you run the first 2 plays or even the first 3 and you want to go for on 4th down with dives up the middle, I am watching consistently week in and week out where that play is open and it is not used anymore
If I'm any team that's got a speed back, I'm copying that play from the Lions last night.
Straight up.
That
was such a great play.
Sweet little play, dude.
Especially the positioning of the ball for Amon-Ra to chuck it. That was fantastic.
I mean, it gave me goosebumps and shades of Nebraska in their prime. Like,
that's using your football brain, ladies and gentlemen.
That was a nice looking play.
I'm going to say this. The Broncos will win on Monday night. Pinky and Andy are in the house. It's going to happen.
Caleb, let me fact check you real quick.
It's Jake Browning. If Joey B was still playing, I wouldn't be as confident. It's Jake
I was
B.
curious. We actually picked him either way, so
Well, that's because we know the Bengals usually start slow as well.
that
So
definitely has a lot to do with it.
That's the
That
right
helps.
time to get them. And that defense is still awful. All right.
That's going to be an interesting game.
College football. You know where I'm going, baby. Woo! Yeah.
Go right ahead. Number 2 team in the country, looking legit.
They came back on us, though.
I will say Carson Beck finally started showing me why, again, that I am not high on him at all. There is almost no arm velocity, arm strength. His decision-making is questionable at times. But, boy, are they showing that they have some legit weapons down there at the U this year. And they get the ball to some of those guys in the right down and distance, and they do work with the ball in their hands. And that defense, boy, they are putting a hurt on people right now. And if they get a chance to go track meet style and come after guys, that's a dangerous unit. So the U, I'm not ready to say they're all the way back, Pinky, because 1 year does not do that. But they put a solid playoff run together and they come back next year looking just as dangerous.
So,
I will say they're back.
At the moment, they've played the portal very well. Getting Cam Ward, getting a quarterback that can play in college football helps. If you don't have a quarterback with all the talent you have around, you don't have a chance. You gotta have it. So, can you imagine if Boise State last year had a quarterback?
It wasn't really their quarterback wasn't bad. They just didn't have the talent all around to compete truly with the big boys. Is what it came down to. That's just what it is. You wanted to start a little homer. I'll go a little homer as well because I've got something I got to get off my chest. Look, Nebraska may or may not ever get back to what they were. I am on the fence as far as the capability of that. They have everything that they need to be a top-tier program again. But you got to get over the hump. And now 29 straight losses to ranked opponents dating back to 2016. I mean, there's just a hump that they have to get over that they're struggling mightily to do. Now, that loss could have been a big deal. Like, that could have been a huge learning curve for them that allows them to finally get over that hump for the rest of the season and finish really strong.
What's the next ranked team you play?
I don't know.
Because I know your schedule's not super hard.
Bit cupcakey, to be perfectly honest with you.
I got you.
Michigan State in 2 weeks. That game will be it's not until USC November 1st. And USC's 21st ranked.
Caleb, you're going down.
We play Penn State November 22nd. Penn State's currently ranked 3rd.
Oh.
I'm taking you down, Caleb. Sparty baby.
You guys did play Penn State and Ohio State tough last season.
We did. And honestly, you could argue that we should have beat that game against Michigan outside of 6 plays. 5 of those being Michigan plays, and then you could argue the Hail Mary that Nebraska caught to end the first half was one of them that could have gone the other way as well. So, but outside of those plays, Nebraska played a really good game against a really good, what appears to be Michigan team. But when you give up 250 yards on the ground, there's a problem. And when 200 of those yards comes off of like 4 runs, that's an even bigger problem. So there's things that Nebraska needs to clean up. I'm not going to try to hide that. But here's where I have an issue, Pinky. And you sent me a video of this. Another buddy, Cody, our buddy Cody, sent me the same video. I had another friend send me the same video of some guy from CBS Sports talking about how he's out on Raiola now because he's trying too hard to play like Mahomes and do sidearm throws and out-of-the-pocket runs and this, that, and the guy's an idiot. Flat out idiot. How he has his job will remain baffling to me when we're sitting here doing this for free. Because all the guy did was take the cosplay narrative and burn it to the ground with his take. Because none of it's true. None of what he said was factual or true. Raiola went for over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. 30 for 41. Completing over 70% of his passes. Doing all of this nonsense, as this guy put it, that he's out on. Raiola might be the best quarterback in the nation right now. And I'm not saying that as a Nebraska fan. I'm saying that as objectively as I possibly can, based on stats, numbers, and the fact that he was basically playing with no offensive line on Saturday and still put up those numbers. So for this fool from CBS Sports to be talking about how Raiola's college play has gone too far now because of the way he's playing the quarterback position, acting like Mahomes is the reason Raiola plays that way, tells me this guy has done no research to learn whatsoever about the quarterback as a whole. Matthew Stafford is his godfather, ladies and gentlemen. Matthew Stafford has played like that since Georgia. Raiola also played baseball growing up, like his godfather, Matthew Stafford. Oh, and yes, like somebody who he likes to model his game after, because why wouldn't you when it's one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game in Mahomes? So yes, the haircut, the number. Oh, by the way, he had the haircut before Mahomes had the haircut. He doesn't wear 15 because of Mahomes. He wears 15 because of Tebow. If you do the research, yes, he brought it on himself because of the mannerisms and some of the things he's done. I won't argue that. But get away from this Mahomes cosplay, because it's not actually anywhere close to a good narrative if you actually learned about the person and why he is a quarterback and plays the way he does. So aside from the cosplay narrative, Mahomes is the only reason. Mahomes. Damn it. Raiola is the only reason Nebraska even had an opportunity to be in that game, because of the way he played on Saturday. And he needs to start getting a lot more respect about how good he actually is at the quarterback position nationally, because he's putting up numbers that suggest he should be given that recognition. I'm done.
We shall see. We shall see. All right.
Billy Napier is probably going to lose his job in Florida. They may not win a game the rest of this year. If you go look at their schedule, it is vicious.
DJ Lagway is not the savior they hoped he would be.
Not the savior. Oh, my head just went totally blank.
The Ryder Cup. We need to move on.
No, we'll get there. There was another big college football conversation. Chill out. We have plenty of time. Damn it. Now you guys made me lose my train of thought. There was another big college football.
Oklahoma lost their quarterback indefinitely.
That is going to be a big deal for Oklahoma for sure. Definitely going to be a big deal. That was not what I was thinking, but so be it. Dang it. There was something else. Oh, well.
What else were you thinking?
That's right.
Penn State plays Oregon this weekend, right? That's a big.
That should be a big game. Whiteout night game in Penn State. Penn State does not look great. Oregon hasn't necessarily looked great either, but chance to prove their worth.
I'd watch that game, but
there's some good stuff coming up for sure. I just cannot remember. This is what it was. Everybody keeps going after Texas Tech because of the money they spent on their roster, acting like nobody else spent money on their roster in college football. I think Texas Tech is second. I think Texas is first. So it's not like they didn't spend a bunch of money. But if you're going to spend it properly, unlike Texas A&M all these years and lose consistently. Texas Tech is winning, okay? Now, Big 12, not Big 12, I don't care. They're winning. So get off their backs. It's part of the game now. I don't want to hear they spent all this money on their roster. They should be. Well, yeah, but everybody should be winning. Ohio State spends money. Texas spends money. You don't talk about them spending money when it comes to their rosters. You talk about how they should win because of their recruits. They spent money on those recruits. So, leave that out of the conversation and just start talking about the football team is winning on the field, right?
So, big deal this weekend. We got Oregon, Penn State. We got Alabama, Georgia. Big games.
Nice.
Big games.
I like that. Robert, before we get to Ryder Cup, because I'll mention that and kind of let everybody just go watch it on their own, hopefully, because we don't have the inside knowledge that Chris brings. I have a question to pose to you about F1.
Oh boy.
And Pinky, feel free to jump in on this as well, because you're starting to get into there a little bit more. Your toes, I'd say, are a little more than dipped these days. Not fully immersed, but dipped, definitely.
What you got for me?
Does Max win out and win the championship to become the greatest driver of all time? Or
He
does
would
it at least
oh
make
my
him very
God.
legitimately in that conversation? Because at this point in time, I feel like McLaren is going to F around and find out. That's where I feel like we're at now. I feel like they are going to win the Constructors' Cup. There's zero chance that they don't win that at this point. Like, there's no way that doesn't happen. Their two drivers will finish high enough to keep getting points and win that. But they're going to F around and find out, I feel like, now. And one of their drivers is not going to be sitting at the top when this is all said and done. And I feel like Max is about to go on an epic run and win out the season.
I completely agree. And if he does, yes, absolutely. He would be, I would think, the greatest of all time. Better than Lewis. I really do.
I mean, there's
Um,
can he catch Piastri with 6 races left?
There's
Yes.
quite a bit of scenarios where it can happen. He does have to win out, basically. But there are quite a few scenarios where it allows him to win out and be the driver's champion.
so he's trailing by 69 points.
That's a
Like
lot.
he would have to win a majority of these races, and something awful has to happen at
You
McLaren.
need Piastri and Norris to kind of finish third or lower. Maybe a second here or there. So he needs some help. But the fact that he even has the opportunity to, with where the car was at the midpoint of the season, the point spread that we saw at one point, like what is going on? What changed?
I don't know, but the
I mean, obviously
qualifying for
firing Horner-
McLaren was bad.
Firing Horner was a big deal. The right move, apparently.
I don't know what happened there, but yeah. And then there are, I mean, I know they're going to replace Tsunoda. It's only a matter of time. But no, if Red Bull can show up and show out for Max, this will probably go down as one of the most legendary F1 seasons in history.
And there's 2 sprints coming up, right? So there's a chance for additional points in those scenarios. Yeah, it's a wild,
When is
very
the next
interesting
sprint?
scenario that I was not thinking we were going to see. Because you thought, I mean, Robert, you and I both said going into the summer break, like, this is McLaren's to lose every situation possible. The way Red Bull had their shit going at the break, we didn't see any way they were going to turn around. We thought Ferrari might figure something out and make it a little bit interesting in some scenarios as far as podiums. But now we're looking at it going, McLaren took the break to get worse. Max took the break to tell Red Bull this is what's going to happen and we're going to roll. And the tables have completely flipped.
Yep. And the next sprint race is in Austin, Texas, so it'll be the United States GP.
What other takeaways do you have from the weekend? Simply from the race, moving forward, anything you saw that you had some insight or gave you some insight maybe?
Oh man, I'm so happy for Carlos Sainz and getting a podium with Williams. That was cool. That was really good for him.
Dude, he jumped into the pit. That was fun.
Heck yeah. No, that was awesome. Mercedes is they're right there.
Are they though?
I don't know what they need to do, but they are consistent. They are on the cusp.
That's a tough team, man.
And I think Kimi is finally getting some confidence back. I really started thinking he's back in the car again. I'm like, at this point, I wish he would be back in school because he was racing better when he was in school than when he finished. So I was really glad to see his performance this weekend. I am disappointed that Russell was put over him, but I understand why, and it makes sense. And I would rather them go after the points and the podiums than ego battle, like McLaren's doing. I really do and think that Mercedes is onto something. They're close to something. We'll see what happens with the rest of the coming races here.
It would be hard not to believe in Toto, right? I mean, if you're just being honest with the situation, regardless of what it looks like week to week, it would be hard to not have faith in him moving forward, especially with all the changes coming next year, that they won't continue to find a way to figure it out and grow.
Exactly. So, like, that's my thing. I'm happy that Liam Lawson finally got a good finish, coming in 5th. So that was good for him. I feel like after his rough start to the year and Red Bull pulling his seat so early, really happy to see that. Just overall, it was a great racing weekend. I enjoyed the hell out of it. Qualifying was really fun to watch, especially with all the McLaren issues and crashes, and then to see what happened on Sunday with Piastri just going out in the first lap. Like, man, again, that's one of the things that makes this sport exciting is at this point, anything's possible. You never know. And all of a sudden, Max has a chance to win the championship. Like,
does anybody else get mind blown when they get to tracks and you're like, where is this? And they're like, Azerbaijan. And you're like, they have a race, a Formula One. We can go from Monaco to Azerbaijan.
Yep.
Like, it blows my mind that of all the places in the world, there is a MotoGP. There is a Formula One GP track.
Yep.
In Azerbaijan.
Yep.
Like, it's wild.
It's so crazy. I mean, dude, there's one in Mexico. There's like, we're gonna have so many races coming up in the Western Hemisphere that like it's gonna become an issue with football, and Pinky's gonna have some issues.
No, it's perfect because then I can definitely watch it because I'll have.
Yeah, that's right, buddy.
Also,
Pinky, I know you can do that too.
The Xfinity's got the multi-view now.
Yeah.
So I can pop that on, and I got 4 things going at once. It's great.
YouTube TV has it too, so
YouTube is a little bit nicer, I think, because can't you pick the 4 you want?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I gotta get Xfinity to get there. I want to be able to pick my 4. Right now, it's just whatever they decide. Unfortunately. Anything else, Pinky? Anything you kind of? I know you've really kind of picked it up the second half of the season now because Robert and I got so into it. You got just naturally curious, and I've kind of started following a little bit more, watching the races. Anything you're kind of thinking about or seeing?
The movie did help a lot. Help a lot.
Good.
Look, let's just be real. It takes a lot of dedication to watch these races.
Dude, yeah.
This is 5 a.m.'s early as hell.
You go in or you don't.
Like, I was sitting there, I'll be honest, about lap 49, eyelids got a little heavy.
Hey, baby, that's what DVR's for, Pinky.
There wasn't a lot going on in this race. Max was like, he was so far ahead. We were like, oh, damn. Like
6th career Grand Slam.
Like, it was crazy. Other than that, there just wasn't a lot of movement. I think Piastri just going out on lap 1 was the biggest story of the day. So, the points leader literally just like his thing locking up and hitting the wall. Like, that to me was the biggest thing of the day. But again, at the end of the day, I get to hang out with both my sons and watch. It's a good time.
Nice.
5 a.m. was a little too early to get mimosas going or Bloody Marys going. Like, it was just too early.
But it kept you awake.
Maybe. I didn't fall asleep though. I got close.
I mean, at that point, you just do Irish coffee and we call it good.
Yeah, I don't think it's too early. If you're awake, then it's the right time. But
because you want to know what they're doing at the races? Drinking.
Yeah.
So if I want to be one with the people, I got to be one with the people.
Goes back to my tailgating experience. If you're awake, there's not a bad time.
There's only one more 6 a.m. race that I can watch, and that's in December. So
there's 2. Oh yeah, no, Qatar's at 9 a.m.
Yeah, well, there's a 6 a.m. race. The next one is in Singapore.
Abu Dhabi's at Singapore. So Singapore's at 6 a.m. So you have that, and then you have the final race of the year, which is at 6 a.m. in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, I can watch the last one. I'll be in.
So you have the USGP at 1 p.m. the Mexican GP at 2 p.m., the Brazilian GP at 10 a.m., the Las Vegas GP at 9 p.m. So you'll be able to at least watch that. And then Qatar is at 9 a.m.
Oh yeah, we can watch that Vegas one. We can do that.
We're gonna go to the Vegas one eventually, bro.
Oh yeah, Junior is totally in.
Although I do want to go overseas and watch one. That would be fun.
I want to do that one over like I don't know, in the Middle East that's got the hotel with the racetrack. Do they race
sure that's
that
Abu
one?
Dhabi. It's that.
Yeah.
It's that or Qatar. I'm not sure. We'll have to look.
I think it's Abu Dhabi.
Need to
but
win
yeah.
the lottery for that one, Pinky.
So Formula One, exciting things. We got a 2-week break, so no races this weekend. We'll come back at the beginning of October. October 6th, I believe, is the day.
Fifth.
October 5th.
Mm-hmm.
And that's at 6 a.m. So we'll be ready. Otherwise,
Solid.
Is it time?
Without further ado,
Yes.
we're going to talk about the Ryder Cup. Real quick, look, I've talked about this for a long time. I wish Chris could have been here because he could have really talked it up and given it the true justice that it deserves. But this is one of the biggest events in golf. It is unlike anything else because the fan interaction, the loud crowds, the hype, the emotion that the golfers show, you don't see it anywhere else. The only thing that would come close is the Waste Management Open in hole 16 down there in Phoenix. I think that's in like February every year. But it's just a random PGA Tour event. This is an elite event. Every other year, it's played home soil, away soil, alternating. This year, it's being played at Bethpage Black, known to be an epically difficult course. The New York crowd is going to be off their rockers. And Rory McIlroy continues to talk a bunch of smack, continue to be pointed at Bryson DeChambeau, who is arguably the most liked fan favorite golfer in the world right now. And you're giving the American crowd bulletin board material to just be epically noisy and loud. And I hope for the life of me that DeChambeau is paired with Rory on multiple occasions this weekend because it would be epic. Absolutely epic. Now, Europe by many is favored, which sucks. But being on home soil helps the U.S. U.S. does have the number one player in the world. They do have DeChambeau and a couple other guys who can play really good golf. They're just not playing as good at golf at the current moment as a lot of the European players are. And that's the kicker. So that's about all I have. I could go into a lot more detail, but I know neither one of these guys really want to talk about it or listen to it. So
I'll watch
let
it,
be.
but I don't have enough to comment.
But I will say, look, I say it every year. If you're going to watch golf, there's 4 events you should watch. It's the 4 majors. Every other year, we get the Ryder Cup. And this is definitely worth watching. It starts Friday. It'll play Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So those 3 days, if you have a moment, if you're home, turn it on. Put it on in the background. If you're watching football Saturday, Sunday, throw the Ryder Cup on your tablet and keep that kind of running while football is going. I promise you will not be disappointed. There will come a point in time where you will find yourself turning the Ryder Cup volume up and the football volume down because you will see the crowds going nuts and you will want to know why, and then you'll get invested. I promise you it'll happen and you will get drawn in. The only way that doesn't happen is if America totally shits the bed and comes out of the first day and Europe's already up 10 points. If I remember correctly, you have to get to 15.5 points to win. And basically the way it works is like day one, you play, basically for those that don't know golf, I'll try to make it really layman terms. You basically play 2v2, 4 different sets of 2v2s in the morning, 4 different sets of 2v2s in the afternoon. Then you play some scramble best ball kind of stuff the next day. And then the last day is a bunch of single matches against each other. And you get a point for every match you win. And based on all those matches, the first one to get to 15.5, I believe, is how it works, is the winner. So if you draw, you get a half point. Each guy gets a half point. If you lose, you don't get anything. So that's kind of how the points get calculated. It's great golf, great drama, and you're looking at arguably the 24 best players in the world playing against each other. 12 for the American, 12 for the European. Granted, there's going to be a couple guys that aren't in there for the world rankings that are really good golfers, but it's Europe versus America. The President's Cup, which will happen next year, every other year alternating. The President's Cup is the world versus America, but the Ryder Cup is the one that's the big dog, the old boy, the tradition, the one that really matters. And it's going to be a lot of fun. New York's going to be, Long Island's going to be rocking. Bethpage Black is going to be something special. I really do think that this year. And look, it's completely biased. I know I want to see America win, blah, 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 blah. But I have a sneaky feeling America's going to pull out the upset on home soil. Rory's been talking too much smack. He's gone on record a couple years ago saying he believes one of the biggest things you can do in golf is winning an away Ryder Cup. And then he came out recently saying, Ryder Cup isn't that big a deal. The majors are what matters. The dude's all over the place. He's talking out of both sides of his mouth constantly. I used to be a big Rory fan, and then the way he went on that live rant and tried to be the mouthpiece for the PGA, and then the PGA threw him under the bus, and how he's handled himself after that, I'm not a fan anymore. I don't root against him. I don't dislike him. I'm just not a fan anymore. And I think he's put his team and himself in a position to where there's going to be more pressure than they realize. And when that crowd gets going, and DeChambeau and Scheffler and Xander Schauffele and JT and the boys start feeling it and playing well because of it, Europe's back's going to be against the wall and they're not going to be able to get off of it. That's what I feel like, and it's going to be fun to watch. And I really do think we're going to see something really fun. And in the golf world, I think this is going to go down as a very memorable Ryder Cup because of that. So tune in. I think you're about to witness something special, and that will make it worth it. Now, Roberts, it's finally time. Good sir.
Damn straight, bro.
Take it away.
Spoiler alert. Wait, Pinky, you gave me a finger.
I was gonna ask real quick before we get into Peacemaker. What did you think of The Longest Walk?
The Long Walk?
The Long Walk, yeah. That thing.
It was very well done. It was a good adaptation. Definitely a good fall movie. Hunger Games type style. They did take some liberties that I'm not a big fan of. They changed some of the core structure. But overall, it was a solid movie. I would recommend to go and see it. Although with some of the other movies that are coming out this weekend, that might just be one I'd say at this point, just wait until streaming. But I give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. I would go see it again. So
okay.
For sure. But
all right.
I'll have a movie roundup as well at the end of Peacemakers because we gotta plug that. But yes, spoiler alert, everyone. Peacemaker. We're getting into the hot and juicy stuff now. This is great. This is so great. Number one, you definitely get the sense that Peacemaker is on a one-track mind now. He thinks that he's got it right and he's got all of these things figured out. And his friends are just kind of filling a void for him right now. And all of a sudden, he's taken some of these larger risks that we haven't seen him do before, and he's just kind of done. He's tired. He is definitely tired. So many surprising things happened with the introduction of another cyborg to the Gunverse. Was not expecting that, and Caleb, that was what was spoiled for me. Was that reveal? So Pinky was like, "That's not a huge reveal." I'm like, "That's a massive reveal. It's a big deal in the DC verse."
I didn't think it was that big either.
Happens.
Is that comic book accurate? Are they throwing their own thing in there? Like, what are we? I don't really know enough to know one way or the other, but
so it's
to me, it's like cool. A military soldier on an elite force has some cyborg in her. Haven't seen that before in the world of movies.
So, but you also have to keep in mind that the only cyborg that we really have is Cyborg from the DC Comics. So, like, to have another person like this in being developed into a comic storyline is a big deal for DC. So, we're going to see where this is going because there's a lot of science implications behind that.
Okay.
We don't know where this cyborg came from. This could be a deal with Lex Luthor or some other things. We don't know exactly. So, a lot of kind of Easter eggs being planted for later things, I have a feeling. And man, Rick Flag Sr. really snapped, and Peacemaker's face should have been absolutely demolished with that knee. Like, damn.
We got a little throat jaw
Yeah,
action, so
that was brutal.
Yeah.
I loved that the way to solve the problem was by actually booking him. I thought that was hilarious.
Which then set him free because they couldn't actually have anything to charge him with.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I thought that was clever. And you know, I'm just trying to help everybody out, take something off everybody's plate, you know?
Yeah, that was good. Oh, excuse me for doing the paperwork that nobody else wants to do.
Right. So I loved that. Man, Michael Rooker, man, he got a messed up.
He got what he deserved.
Is he supposed to be like? Is he gonna turn into like some metahuman now, or
No.
like I'm?
I think that's it. I think they just killed him.
What was? Why all the Prime Eagle stuff then? What a waste of like that.
I mean,
you could have told the entire season without any of that involved. Any of it.
Now we know that Eagly is special because he's Prime Eagle. That's kind of what that does.
Okay, I guess if that's what you took away from it, I could. Okay,
because we kept seeing Eagly.
Is Eagly in the comics? I've never even asked that. Is he legit like part of the comics?
Find out, Robert. But now we know that he's Prime Eagle, like whatever that means. He's special now. Versus just being his sidekick.
Okay.
Right.
Yes, he is comic.
And is Prime Eagly anything special?
I mean, he does live on Prime Earth, so in a sense, yes.
That sounded really smart-ass-ish, and I don't like it. But I know where you were trying to do. But now, seriously, does Prime Eagly?
I don't know. That's the thing, is this is a bit of a different storyline. So Eagly seems to be quite a badass in this universe, so I'm going with it.
Yes. Look, there is one thing that I have not liked about this season. There's not enough vigilante.
I was so destroyed by when he was crying. He's like, my best friend's gone.
But I told you, and I was talking about this last week, I really enjoy the fact that there's basically been no superhero shit this entire season. It's literally dealing with directly aftermath of season 1 and then Superman. And the amount of things it's building just character-wise in development is, I think, huge for the universe. So
Vigilante is one of my favorite parts of season
I love
1.
it. I think the way they've allowed his character to develop this season is only going to make it better when we start seeing him beat the living thing out of people again. Because you're going to be like, this dude who is obviously on the spectrum talking about manta rays just went and took out an entire battalion of special forces. Like that dichotomy, I think they're really playing up. And I think that's going to be special when it finally comes back, Pinky. But I understand where you're coming from. We haven't seen a lot of that this year.
I hope
But we still have episodes 6, 7, and 8, which apparently is supposed to be everything hitting the fan and then some in the best ways possible.
Well, it's got to hit the fan because, again, this comes back to what Adebayo said. The grass is greener on the other side. He's gone to the other side now. He is fully embracing being Peacemaker in this other universe.
Right. And that's what's really crazy is all because the one tether he thought he might have left in hardcore told him no. So he went to go to the other universe where he has multiple tethers. His dad, his brother, and hardcore, right? Flag's still alive, so he doesn't have to live with that shame. Like, there's a lot of things about that other universe that are really appealing. And once Hardcore basically told him there's nothing there, he loves his friends in this group now, but it's not enough to keep him away from the things that he lost, right? And doesn't have.
Right.
So now I want to ask you guys, because I know, and it seems like it's way too obvious, so it's going to happen, but then it also seems like it's way too obvious, so it's not going to happen. Robert, are you feeling even more conviction that it's Universe X or whatever you were calling it?
Yes, sir.
Them going after him, you don't think is going to be what brings him back? It's going to be them all figuring out that this is a really messed up place and they're all going to try to get out of there together?
To some degree, yes.
Okay.
I don't know how they're going, because there's going to be a universe that's going to be one. And there's one that's going to be lost because this is going a little too far into it, I think, in this case. But there's now no longer a Peacemaker in this universe.
Mm-hmm.
So if he goes in one and not the other, there's a void that's going to create issues. And that's been one of the big things that Gunn has been talking about, is that this is going to set up the rest of the DCU for the coming while.
You're trying to say he's an anchor being?
It's possible.
Who knows? Snap.
So it is a very interesting thought for what happens to either universe, but I definitely think that there will be the revelation Earth X is where Peacemaker is, because with his family history, his dad's history, you haven't seen any people of real color in that universe in a good light outside of the bandits or whatever they called them in the 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of validation, and one of the other things that if you're kind of watching some background stuff, is they've done everything they can to hide the American flag in that universe. So I really do think that is about to be what we get.
You know what I really
just
enjoy?
don't see any other way.
I enjoy
What?
the ladies, man. He's awesome.
Tim Meadows is killing it. That role is wild.
I got bird blindness. What the hell is bird blindness?
The back and forth he had with I can't remember the little dude's name.
Judo Master.
Yeah, Judo Master. Where he finally was like, no, literally, if you call me that again, I will see you the next time and chop off your dick and hand it to you. And the next thing he says is, yes, that will work out just fine then. If you would like to proceed with the next mission, we can completely change, no joking around anymore. He was like, all right, no, we are, yeah, that's good. Okay. All right. I'm loving this season. And I said it last week, just the way they're developing the characters for future storylines so that you actually care. These aren't just superheroes and you're just trying to do a bunch of fighting and aliens. And this whole season is like an actual drama, comedy, TV show, movie than it is a comic book. And I think that's what's really going to set this apart moving forward and help create this DC universe that Gunn's doing, which kudos to him if that's how he's going to continue to develop and proceed.
Which he's doing some things in their aspect of hey, this is for everyone. And then he's doing it, hey, this is for people like us. I mean, you go from Superman having crypto and all of these things, and he's like, what the hey, dude, to Peacemaker, and there's
very different.
A very X-rated opening, we'll say, to kick off the season. So very different mediums, both very well received in the comic world, and the story going forward, I think, is better for all DC projects, because you're able to walk that medium.
To his credit, and I agree with you, Robert, to his credit, he said he wants this to be a situation where everybody can consume any amount they want to, and you'll be able to get the basic gist of the universe. Meaning, if you only want to watch the big movies, you're still going to be able to watch them and enjoy them and not feel lost. You're going to be able to watch them for what they are. It's a standalone story for the most part. But I'm going to do a bunch of other stuff with this that for people who want to consume more or love the universe or love the characters or the stories or whatever it is, where there's going to be Easter eggs all over the place to tie everything together. They're just not going to be so obvious that if you miss this, you're not going to understand that. And that's not easy to do or pull off. And I had a little bit of, shall we say, trepidation about that and how well it would work. But so far, it's looking really good. I mean, look, I didn't like Creature Commando, right? I said I respected the way they were doing the story, and that story they did on Weasel was just heart-wrenching. It just didn't draw me in enough to get me excited. But you're taking all of that in a cartoon, and you're bringing that into Peacemaker with Rick Flag. So he is tying it together really well without you having to consume all of it to know what's going on. Already he's doing that.
Yep.
So I think he's off to a really good start with what he's building here. And honestly, it would not surprise me at all within the next 2 years if we're going Marvel screwed and they're trying to figure out how to catch back up to DC based on where we're at with everything.
That's already happening. And I mean, Spider-Man just got hit with a huge delay because Tom Holland cracked his head. So like,
I mean, he can recover from a concussion and be all right.
Well, yes,
look,
but
after the last one, I
filming
don't have
delays
high
and
hopes that we're
stuff,
going to get much of a great story to begin with. So
You shut your whore mouth. Spider-Man No Way Home was hilarious. It was good.
across the
Robert, I
Spider-Verse-
believe you have slightly come around to my side of things ever so slightly on that thought.
I mean, I again really like, and I had the same argument when it comes to the second Doctor Strange. There's just there's not enough multiversal things in there. It was a lot of like fan servicey here and there things. I do think it's still a great installment for that trilogy, but I also think that now you're back in a situation whenever we get this next movie, how are you going to continue that and not somehow bring him back to where we just were? Like it's very hard for me with that because, you know, you had Daredevil and then now you have She-Hulk. Well, Daredevil is now in his own series and there's hints of bringing in some of the other heroes for his show. But again, at this point, everyone has forgotten Peter Parker. But eventually, again, when he comes back to the Avengers, everyone knows he's Peter Parker. So it doesn't. I'm having a hard time with it going forward with them introducing these other movies and then also now rolling out another Avengers where Spider-Man is a core element of that storyline. So
Solid.
We'll see.
Robert, anything else quick hit that we should be paying attention to or looking out for in the world of the nerddoms and the nonsense, as we so put it?
Yes, the Leonardo DiCaprio movie, One Battle After Another, that's coming out on Friday, is going to be a smash hit and probably going to be award-worthy.
Okay. Like that.
Anybody who has a trailer, or not a trailer, but a commercial with Peyton Manning. I don't know if you saw it, Caleb, but they had Leonardo DiCaprio as his character in this movie, calling Peyton Manning for like a password, and Peyton Manning came after him for the password.
I did see it.
I laughed my ass off. I was like, "That's hilarious."
Not a bad commercial. Super Bowl worthy, almost, if you will. Honestly, I just wouldn't necessarily relate to doing a commercial with Peyton to now having a smash hit in cinema, but you could be onto something, Pinky. This could be a new barometer to pay attention to. We'll keep an eye on it.
Yes, so I will be. I don't know when. I will be making time to see it this weekend.
Cool.
Because this has slowly become okay, if I don't see this, I'm gonna be pissed situation. So I'm very excited for it. I'm loving that Demon Slayer is the #1 movie right now across the world. Great anime. Definitely, I think changes a lot of stereotypes about it. Highly recommend. And then
the K-pop dragon demon.
No. So you have K-pop Demon Hunters. That's the BS different. That's the
This is the one that you and Andy went and saw in theaters or whatever. Okay, the actual anime.
Yes,
got
Demon
you.
Slayer.
Okay, my bad. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I don't know what
You're
I don't
good.
know. Okay?
You're good. Demon. So this movie is like the equivalent of like Infinity War.
Okay.
Of this storyline. It's like
Cool.
Game of Thrones status. Like no one is safe. People are going to die.
Did it live up to what it needed
absolutely.
to? Cool.
Absolutely. It was phenomenal. Cool. I can't wait for part 2 in a couple years. So
all right, good.
Yep. And then finally, we are 2 weeks away from Tron, baby. Let's go. And in these 2 weeks, I will be kidnapping Pinky so we can watch these first 2 movies because he has never seen them. Yes, Caleb. It's a cardinal sin. I'm so upset. But it is going to happen.
Pinky, when you watch the first one, just remember that you're a 9-year-old boy in 1983 or whenever the hell that came out.
I'm a 3-year-old boy.
Whatever it is, okay? Just remember that you are not a 50-year-old man. I'm dating you on purpose.
Motherfucker.
I'm doing it on purpose for the simple fact that I know how much you love movies and you can get very critical at times, and it's gonna look really, really bad. Like it's gonna be Caleb, gonna be a really bad movie, Pinky. Like nothing about it is really redeemable. Okay? Like the original Tron it ages not well in any way. Other than the idea of what it is that allows us to these next 2 movies.
4K. I have not watched this yet on 4K, but the screenshots that I've watched are actually beautiful. They really did a great job with this.
All right.
So I'm excited to watch it.
All right.
But I mean, even after listening to the score and once I have the movie to it, I'll be able to score it better. But this is still the best movie soundtrack of all time.
It's pretty good. I don't know if I would have it as the best of all time, but it is a really good score.
I still got The Crow as the best of all time in my opinion, but
no.
Yeah.
Even like the Queen soundtrack for Highlander does not even come close to Daft Punk's.
As far as scores for movies, Requiem is way up there.
Requiem for a Dream?
The Crow.
Yeah.
The
oh
Crow
my gosh. With Lux
awesome.
Eterna and stuff?
When you can have a soundtrack hit and it instantly gives you all the feels, you know it's a badass score.
You're talking this movie.
I own that one. Yeah, I have that too.
This is not a happy movie, Caleb.
It's not. I didn't say it was. I'm just saying that score is all-time epically great.
Yeah, that score is phenomenal.
When that
movie is heavy.
When that hits, you know exactly, and you get the feels instantly. That being said, final thoughts, gentlemen, good sirs, please give it to me. Robert, go.
I need 6 more hours in my day for more sports and movies. It needs to happen.
I like where your head's at. Pinky, final thought, go.
Stephanie Vaquer, your new women's world champion. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we love sports and nonsense and Magic the Gathering and Pokemon and movies and everything else.
Magic!
Between, okay? So if there's something you want to talk about, hit us up. Let us know.
Warhammer.
We appreciate it. All the likes, the subscribes, the shares, the follows, the comments, everything. We cannot thank you enough. Please continue to do it. Do it more. Share it with other people to start your own conversations. Get us involved if you want to. Cannot thank you enough for all of it. If you have those moments with your family, loved ones, friends, inner circle, whoever you consider that to be, do not take those moments for granted. Cherish them at every opportunity you can. We do, and we're not going to stop. Until next week, ladies and gentlemen, sports is heavy right now.
Let's get it.
Pinky in the building, repping orange and blue. Broncos country, yeah, you know how we do. High take so wild, you remember the name. From college ball to the pros, Caleb spitting game. Robert here, the pop culture plug. From comics to racing, pour the drink in the mug. sports, nonsense and whiskey, yeah, bold talk, good laughs and a glass in the air. Sports, nonsense and whiskey, right? Kick back, tune in, take a wild side.